Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of the Witching Hour. This one's going to be short and sweet probably, and you got to listen to me eating throughout it, which is kind of probably not your favorite thing to do. I won't eat while I read the story though, I promise. Hope you're all enjoying these. We're getting close. It's the 20th today as of this video, so 11 more days in October. Don't worry, I've got some good ones saved. Let's get into it. Hello. Do you have fond memories from when you were a child? Classic things like what favorite cartoons you used to watch on television? Or maybe you had fond memories about going to school. This is a horror story about going to school. Adventures in Further Education by Peter Atkins. Kenny tapped the pen on the surface of his desk for the 17,436th time. There was nothing the matter with him. It wasn't like there was an obsession or anything. It wasn't like he'd do anything else. Since his 6th grade teacher had first introduced the idea to him 20 years ago, he'd done all the normal things. He'd graduated from high school. He'd graduated from college. He'd met Tiffany, fallen in love, married, fathered 2 children, found himself a perfectly respectable job and a perfectly respectable firm. There was nothing unusual with Kenny except his little hobby. And that's all it was, a hobby. He didn't bother anybody with it. In fact, nobody knew he did it, not even Tiffany. It was just a hobby, an interest, an experiment that nobody else had the patience to see through. Mr. Neal had only tapped his pen 5 times, for example. So it's theoretically possible, Mr. Neal had said, sounding almost bored as the 50 12-year-olds who were pretending to listen to him, that if you just kept tapping this pen on the desk long enough, one time it would just slip through the surface. He'd been given in class a glimpse of new physics, a taste of theories that were revolutionizing the way science looked at the world. A hint that the matter that made up the forms of this world, which everyone accepted as solid and separate, was all in fact one, and the only probability of kept everything as it was and kept our reality apart from the multiverse of others. Kenny hadn't been particularly interested in the theoretical and metaphysical implications of what Mr. Neal was saying. He was 12 years old, for Christ's sake. He just thought it would be really friggin' cool to see a pen slip through the desk, and had been disappointed when, after his 5th tap, Mr. Neal had put his pen down and moved on to something else. Quietly, and without drawing anyone's attention, Kenny had started tapping his pen and counting. 17,437, 17,438. It wasn't the same desk, of course. It was the 6th desk he'd had since he started, but it was the same pen, dry now of ink, chewed up and useless for anything but its secret purpose. And that had to count for something. The phone rang. Kenny picked it up, dealt with the call, hung up. He laid the pen down throughout the call, and it didn't bother him at all. After all, he wasn't crazy. Life had to be lived. Work had to be done. His experiment required patience and tenacity, and Kenny prided himself on possessing plenty of both. 17,439, 17,440, 17,400, and the pen slid effortlessly and smoothly into the desk. Kenny, letting go instinctively, threw himself back in his chair, an adrenal shock of surprised fulfillment shooting through his entire body. He looked up, ready to show his triumph to the rest of the large open plan office. But the office wasn't there. Kenny was staring at a kaleidoscope world of shifting, flickering lights, a surfaceless void of unimaginably distant, vanishing point, near which huge amorphous shapes twisted and writhed in a constant fury of becoming. Lightning in colors he couldn't name seared across the infinite and multicolored sky in jagged shards, the size of which he couldn't conceive. Alien winds screamed their impossible being in warring cacophonies of notes he couldn't believe at volumes he couldn't hear. He still had his hands. Had he still had his hands, Kenny would have grabbed the chair, had there still been a chair. Had he still had a mouth, Kenny would have screamed. Had he still had eyes, Kenny would have closed them. He still had his pen. Had he still had his pen, Kenny would have started tapping. Can this really happen? If you tap your pen against your desk over and over in repetitive motion, will you eventually slip into another dimension? You should try it. See if you end up the same place Kenny ended up, which may or may not be the back rooms. We'll see you next time. Hello and welcome. This is another game that was recommended to me, a spooky horror found footage style game called Amanda the Adventurer. I have a little food, a little dinner here that I'm eating. This is a tribute to nostalgia and horror, so let's play episode 1. I'm probably not going to play the whole game because I think it's kind of a long game.
And I'm Wooly.
And I love apples. Do you like apples?
No.
I'm allergic to apples.
That's okay. You should never be afraid to try something new.
I like apples,
We
actually.
don't even know where the store is.
Do you know where the store is?
Oh, I have to actually find it? It's obviously this building, so let's go there.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go. We're at the store.
It sure looks crowded. Bah.
And look, there are apples. Can you see apples?
Apple.
Good job. Now we
Andy's
can make
apple
pie.
farm. Oh, we're gonna make apple pie. Oh. That's all of episode 1. Okay. Maybe I will play this whole game then. Maybe it's pretty short. Weird. Let's play episode 2 then, I guess.
Oh, you. Okay, we don't have much time. Whatever you do, don't...
Hi, everyone. I'm Amanda.
I'm Wooly.
Today, we're going to get meat for Grandma.
But isn't Grandma a vegetarian?
Can you tell us where the butcher is?
Let's do everything she wants because if I don't, bad things might happen.
There it is. Let's go. Hello, meat man. Can you tell the meat man what we need?
Not sheep. How about pork?
Can you tell the meat man what we need?
Beef?
Tell him what we need.
Milk? No, I almost typed meat. Meat?
That's right.
This is interesting. It's the meat man. Amanda's scary. Okay. I tried to type other types of meat that weren't just, I don't know. I should have said fish. If Grandma's a vegetarian, well, she's not a vegetarian, but she's like a pescatarian. Okay, well, I guess it's time for tape 3. Sorry if I'm taking a little while. This is probably shorter than I thought. I thought this was gonna be a long video. Uh-oh.
It's dark out. Let's go home.
Okay.
Knock on the door.
What's wrong with you? Why do you look evil? House? Oh. So Amanda was in a demon the whole time. Well, I'm sure we could have fun and try to not do what she wanted us to do, but that was a good time. Let's quit. See you next time.